Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to knon.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
We'd like to say good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Church Reformation in Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. We have Annie and Doc is producing this morning. And also in the studio with us is Mr. Ike Steen. Mr. Steen is here. Going to talk about this criminal justice system and criminal unjust system that we have here in Dallas and all around this nation, and we're going to talk about that. And he has a fight that he's been fighting for a long time, and he's going to not give up. He said he might give up, but not going to give up. But anyway, we are going to have we got a lot on our plate this morning. We'd also like to announce the obsequies of the Reverend Floyd Taylor, Elder Floyd F.G. Taylor. And it will be there on Matlock in Arlington today at 1 p.m. Elder Floyd Taylor, longtime pastor in Fort Worth and Corsicana. And he pastored Taylor Memorial there in Corsicana and Heavenly Gospel in Fort Worth over there on Stall Cup. Very well known, very loved preacher, a very nice person. I was very close to him. He married my wife and me, and he's my uncle, and we just really deeply saddened, but at the same time, it's a homegoing. He lived a wonderful life. So today, at Cornerstone Baptist Church on Matlock in Arlington, Texas, the homegoing service of Reverend Floyd Taylor, Elder Taylor, either one you want to call him, greatly beloved and will be greatly missed. All right. A lot of other things going on in our community and around this city. But right now, we'd like to get to the substance of what's happening here in the city of Dallas. And we're in the midst of our spring pledge drive. Let me remind you of that. We're in the midst of our spring pledge drive. And you can call us at 972-647-1893 and make your tax-deductible pledge. 972-647-1893. Make your tax-deductible pledge. No pledge is definitely too great, none's too small. Just a group of people making pledges is something that we need. We need those pledges coming in. We need them coming in. Keep us on the air and keep us strong. Keep the station strong. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. You can make that pledge. Right now. 972-647-1893. 1893. But I gotta have a young man in the studio that always makes his pledge and a strong supporter of this program. We'd like to say good morning to Mr. Ike Steen. Good morning, Ike.
Good morning.
Fine. How are you this morning?
Doing great this morning.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day, man. You dressed up like you were going on the silver screen. You on radio. But everybody like that, boy, he's sharp. But I guess you are on worldwide television. Yeah, I can have you on worldwide television. At least maybe, I guess we're in Germany, but we're on worldwide television too. So you came prepared. And what do we have going on this morning?
Well, I'm still fighting the same age-old battle with the criminal justice system about my son and his case. You know, I think a lot of people are familiar with his case, but a lot of people are not. He did 8 years in the criminal justice system in the penitentiary he was involved in a fight after a high school basketball game where Cedar Hill and Duncanville played, but my son was a Carter student. And him and a couple of Carter boys wound up going to the games, and after the game they was arrested, and it was a fight broke out, and a long story in there, but the main ingredients is they charged my son aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon, and his deadly weapon was another boy's feet, where another boy had kicked the person or stomped on the person that was attacked. When they charged my son with aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon, and you know, and through my fight on this, Judge Victor Lander, which fought a good fight to help me. I almost lost his job down there. He's one of the
judges.
He's a judge in the municipal courts, but he's a member at Friendship West Baptist Church, and he decided that my son was wrongfully incarcerated, and he at the time was writing for the Dallas Weekly newspaper and wrote several articles about my son's situation, and he almost lost his job, you know.
Well, now, was there any gunplay?
There was no weapons even there, you know. No gunplay, no weapons.
This was just a fist fight?
Well, it was a fist fight. That was several fights had broken out early in the day. You know, Carter and Cedar Hill, Kimball, Lancaster, Duncanville, all those kids were present at the scene where the fight was. You know how all these high school kids get together and rally together and party, but there had been several fights earlier that day between Carter and Cedar Hill boys. My son was the athlete. Another guy went to jail. He was the athlete, and it was just the main ingredient of this story is the boy that was beat up, so to say. His mother was a Dallas police officer, and so I was wondering why the charges were so harsh, you know, against the kids, and that's why, you know, they trumped up the charges.
Was not, you said they put robbery on him. Was any money taken, anything taken?
Well, according to the police report, it was I think it was one of the cars that you go get the videotapes with, $35, and a cell phone that was missing, was taken from the boy during the fight. And I don't understand. My son didn't have any of these on his possession. I have a videotape of the fight showing everybody's involvement. And when, you know, the lawyer that we had that went and defended us against the charges, he thought it was a no-brainer because the tape showed that my son didn't do what he was charged with. So during the course of the trial and looking at the tape, they decided that he didn't do what they charged him with, so they decided to change the indictment to put him in what they call a party. He's guilty by a party of association. You know, and he wasn't even there with those kids. Those kids was all there on their own. Like I said, it was at least 4 different high school kids was there. You know how kids get together. They was all at a Whataburger.
But I'm trying to understand how could he be charged? They're all fighting,
right?
They didn't all come together.
Nope.
And they just doing what boys have always done. And we, you know, when I was in high school, we get into it with other schools and other towns, a whole bunch of fist fights and go on. It's just rivalry because if them girls are there, the boys want to show out.
Right, and the girls were there.
Yeah, there was plenty of girls there, and fellas want to show out. You can see that from birth, almost. Well, probably from birth. You can put 2 little boys on the floor. You can do it in my daycare. Put 2 little boys on the floor. They might wrestle, but they might not. But if you want them to get into it, put a little girl down there beside them boys is going to fight. They're going to fight every time. They're going to wrestle to try to see who's dominant. That's a male thing that men want to be dominant, and especially if females are around. And I don't understand why he could be charged with this. What did your attorney do? What did he say?
Well, the attorney, I went through 3 attorneys. Let me say that, and cost quite a bit of money, which some of it I didn't really have myself. But the attorney that actually went to the trial with the case said that you could look at the tape, see that the charges wasn't justified, and said it's a no-brainer. He said, when you look at the tape, it's a no-brainer. So actually, he went to trial unprepared for what they did in the case.
Oh.
And I argued the fact, I got all the information, all the paperwork after my son was already incarcerated. You don't get a transcript during the trial. You get it all after everything has been transpired, the whole case is over with. Then you start getting the information coming in after you have appealed. And looking at the paperwork and seeing the deals that were cut, some of the things that were hid, evidence that was hid from the jury, lies that was told by the DA, the prosecutors, and the police department. I got the paperwork on all of it. I'm not going to tell you anything that I cannot prove in black and white. Matter of fact, I got it with me. I got the transcript of the trial, and it just tells you everybody that was involved. And when they went in and changed the indictment, the lawyer did object. Now, the lawyer that we hired...
But did he go to the trial immediately after the indictment was changed?
No, they changed the indictment during the trial. What they did...
Well, your lawyer wasn't prepared to defend that if they changed the indictment. If the lawyer listen, call and let us know.
Well...
Is that legal? Why would they do that?
Well, the lawyer that we hired to do the appeal, that was one of his main ingredients of the appeal was it was unjust to change the indictment after you have already polled the jury. The jury was selected. They held the jury up while they changed the indictment. Matter of fact, they took the whole first paragraph out of the indictment and saying that it wasn't needed. But the part they took out was that my son hit him and kicked him and went in his pockets. That's what they charged him with and put him in jail for. So they took that out of the indictment.
Once that was proven not to be true, they took that away.
Well, they can look at the tape and see it.
That's what I'm saying. It was proven not to be true.
Right.
All right. So they changed the rules in the middle of the game.
They changed the game in the middle of the game. Yeah.
They went from basketball to football.
Right. And the attorney we had, me personally, I felt like he wasn't equipped to be handling that trial because, my mother helped me with the attorney fees, and during that time she picked the attorney that she had confidence in, and we come to find out I think he was outgunned when he got the trial anyway, but he said it was a no-brainer based on the videotape, but they flipped everything around. And
what did he get charged with?
Aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon is what they tried him for. But the actual charges upon arrest, because they arrested him out of Carter High School, took him out of class and took him to jail, and even the principal of the school didn't even know my son was missing. I got a phone call from my daughter, which was a student at Carter High School, and saying that my son was in jail. So when I made it up to Carter High School, the administrators didn't even know it. So I'm asking...
The authorities came and got the young man and did not let the administration in the building know what they were doing?
They didn't. Well, it was Cedar Hill Police Department. They worked with the Dallas Police Department that was assigned to Carter High School. And my son, like I said, I never would have known where my son was unless my daughter called me. I goes up to the school. My daughter's in the office crying. The principal asked me what was the problem. And when I told him, he didn't even know my son had been arrested. So and that's when we started. I had to go upstairs, talk to the...
Was this Mr. Williams?
Leslie Williams, yeah. Matter of fact, he's a good guy. You know, he...
oh, I know Leslie.
I went to school with him. He graduated from Carter, I think the same year. I graduated in '73, and he was right around there in that same area I was in.
Okay. Now, when we see what he was tried for, and what did they convict him on?
Well, let me state this right here. They arrested my son. Cedar Hill Police Department arrested him, put him in DeSoto jail. They had him in their own bond, and the charges was aggravated robbery with severe body injury. They picked him up from there and took him to Dallas and booked him in Dallas, aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon. I argued that with an attorney for one of the other boys, and she said, no, everyone has the same charges. She went on the county computer of the courthouse, pulled up the information of my son and her client, and told me I need to go talk to my lawyer because there has been a mistake made. But at this time, my son, everything is hindsight. He's on his way to the penitentiary. They had tried him. She showed me where the grand jury could enhance the charges.
Have you talked to the DA though about this?
I made an attempt to contact the DA, but the DA at the time was Bill Hill. The DA now is Craig Watkins.
Okay.
I made an attempt to contact him, which I failed, so I backed off and decided to go different directions. Now,
have you tried to talk to Craig lately?
Not lately, but let me say this right here, and I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus. One of the boys that went to jail, whose father I had spoken to, because at the time Judge Lander was writing articles about my son in the Dallas Weekly newspaper, and I was circulating those papers through the Metroplex, you know, all in Grand Prairie, Arlington, through Dallas, everywhere I could take a Dallas Weekly newspaper.
Okay.
And how many I could get, I was circulating. And I met a young man that said he had someone want to talk to me, and it was one of the boys' father that was in the same fight. It had a trial.
Yeah.
His son did 5 years in the pen. The man said that
Behind the same thing?
same fight. Did 5 years. The man said that his son and the DA, or his attorney for his son and the DA, had cut a deal where his son would get 6 months of boot camp without going to trial. He said they had made an agreement, but upon the agreement, the police officer, which is the boy's mother, disagreed with it, so they offered the boy 4 years in the penitentiary. Well, his parents disagreed to that. Well, what happened was, they said the attorney wasn't ready for what happened, the switch. And the boy wound up being tried and done 5 years in the penitentiary, but his attorney was Craig Watkins.
Oh, the DA was his attorney.
Yeah, before he was the DA.
Oh, my God.
So upon finding that out...
this is a mess. It's
a big mess. But when people found out that the DA was involved in it, then they stepped away from helping me. Yeah, I stopped people. I don't understand who they are, but it was a coalition of blacks that was supposed to meet with me, and the meeting was set up, but after they found out that Craig Watkins was involved or whatever, they backed off, and I never got that meeting, and from that point on, I was out by myself, and the only person that really tried to help me at that point was Judge Victor Lander through his writing the articles in the Dallas Weekly newspaper.
And he almost lost his job.
He almost got fired.
City of Dallas judge.
City of Dallas. Well, they tried to say that he was racist because of an article he wrote about the President Obama and Craig Watkins. He said they have the same, basically the same thing. They have to clean up white folks' mess, and we shouldn't be surprised because we've been cleaning up white folks' mess for years. And they said it was a racist statement, so he had to go back and, recall that statement. But one of the deals they made, he had to start writing for the paper.
Yeah. All right, if you just joined us, this is radio station Knon 89.3 FM on your dial, serving Dallas and all of North Texas. If you have questions or comments, and we are in the midst of our spring pledge drive, give us a call, 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. We need that pledge. We need that pledge. We need that pledge. We need that pledge coming in. 972-647-1893. We need that pledge coming in. Let's go to line one and say good morning to Yolanda. All righty? All righty. Let's go.
Right.
We up against a break? All right. We'll take Yolanda when we come back. All right. We'll be right back in just one moment.
Community radio provides the kind of programming you won't find anywhere else on the dial. Nowhere else can you find such a variety of formats and personalities in North Texas as on KNON. But this is only possible through the support of our listeners. KNON depends on listener support to stay on the air. Now is the time for you to help keep this show on the air. This pledge drive will continue until the station reaches its goal. If you're waiting out the pledge drive, you might be waiting out the existence of this show on KNON too. So don't wait for someone else to do it. Without the support of people like you, there wouldn't be any community radio on the air in North Texas. So take a few minutes and make a pledge. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893 to keep your favorite programs on KNON.
When they're down, they're gone for good. This is Scott from KNON's Texas Blues Radio telling you don't miss out on some great blues. KNON's Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 Blues CD. It's a CD put together by real blues fans for real blues fans like you. Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 features great local blues from Michael J. and the Paul Bird Band, JJ and the Detonators, the Chris Watson Band, the Two Tones, Rough Cut Blues Band, Jeff Stone with Charlie Love, Dave Millsap, Sirloin and the Ass Kicking Machine, Tutu Jones, Blues Boy Bo, Buddy Whittington, Andrea Dawson, Kirkland James, Sonny Colley, and Johnny Red and the Roosters. Get a copy now at Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie, Record Town in Fort Worth, and in Dallas at Bill's Records. This is a Dallas Blues collector's item. A very limited amount of vinyl copies can be found at Forever Young Records, the sponsor of this great blues project. CD downloads are available at cdbaby.com. Whether you get it as a download, on vinyl, or on CD, all the proceeds will benefit KNON. For more info on Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, visit knon.org.
All right, we're back here on KNON 89.3 FM on your dial. Our special guest on Church Information Open Forum is Mr. Ike Steen, and he's talking about things that are going on in the community and things that happening not only to him. This is happening to our young people all over America. Everyone should be interested in this because we're going to have to do something to put an end to this. So 972-647-1893 with your tax deductible pledge. All right, let's go to line one and say good morning to Yolanda. All righty. Good morning, Yolanda.
Good morning, Reverend Barnett. How you doing?
Fine. You have your radio?
Oh, let me turn my radio on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm doing great. I feel under the weather this morning, and I was listening to you, so I wanted to give my pledge.
All righty. Thank you, Yolanda. Thank you very much for your pledge, and we certainly appreciate it. Yes.
God bless you, and you have a great show, and keep up the good work. And I'm going to try to challenge some other people I know. Mm-hmm. Call in and give a pledge also. Okay.
When you now, Yolanda, you out in Pleasant Grove, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Hey, y'all got a big city council race going on out there, and we have several people in there. I don't. What's the young lady's name? Is that? I know one person in the race.
Reverend Barnett, that's me, but I wasn't calling. Yeah, I wanted to honestly. Because I listened to you and I listened to another show, so I gave my pledge on the other show, but it's not, here. And so I wanted to give my pledge because, I understand when it's a community radio, everything is done by pledges, and I don't want to look up and the station is gone and then it'll be too late. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure I stay on top of this and challenge some more people to give.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, Yolanda, who's all running in that race?
It's myself, Yolanda, Faye Williams, Jesse Diaz, Rick Callahan, and Bruce Shaw.
Okay, you're the only one I know. Yeah, I know you have been very active in the community out there. And see, the election is when? Next Saturday?
Yes, next Saturday. Early voting is going on. It's April the 29th through May the 7th. So the only early voting location poll we have in Pleasant Grove is the Prairie Creek Library. So, and May the 11th is the official election day.
Mm-hmm. All righty. We wish you well, because I know you have been very, very active in that community out there. And I know of Jesse Diaz. I don't know him personally, but I do know you and how active you've been out there. So, Lord bless you and keep you here.
Thank you, and keep me in your prayers, and have a great evening. Morning, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, take clear the line, 972-647-1893. Thank you all for lighting the lines up. If y'all be just a little patient, Annie and Doc are working hard trying to get these pledges coming in. We started running short-handed this morning. We were running very short. We had no idea we'd be running short, but just be patient and let them ring. Yeah, all right. Yeah, you can take that phone. All right, let's get our job line on line 2. Get our job line. Yeah. All right. Do we have a job line coming up?
Line 2.
All right, line 2. All right. Let's say good morning. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, Marion Barnett.
Fine. How are you this morning?
Doing fine.
It's a brisk, cool morning, and are there any jobs in town?
There are some jobs out here this morning on our SAT job line. The Solutions Access Today job line brought you every Saturday morning during church information and open forum here on Knon 89.3, the voice of the people. This morning on the job line, we have Prime Therapeutics is looking for customer service representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.primetherapeutics.com/careers with an S. Once again, that web address is www.primetherapeutics.com/careers with an S. G&K Services is looking for general labor positions. They're asking you to apply online at www.gkservices.taleo.net. Once again, that's G&K Services, general labor positions. They're asking you to apply online at www.gkservices.taleo.net. Ecolab is looking for maintenance personnel. They're asking you to apply online at www.jobs.ecolab.com. Once again, that web address there, that's Ecolab is looking for maintenance personnel. They're asking you to apply online at www.jobs.ecolab.com. United Stationery Supply Incorporated is looking for maintenance associates. They're asking you to apply online at www.ussco.taleo.net. Once again, that's United Stationery Supply is looking for maintenance associates. They're asking you to apply online at www.ussco.taleo.net. Uline is looking for customer service representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.uline.com. Once again, that's Uline, the customer service representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.uline.com. Castle Metals for a warehouse operator and a burner. They're asking you to apply online at www.jobs-castlemetals.icims.com. Once again, that's Castle Metals is looking for a warehouse operator. They're asking you to apply online at www.jobs-castlemetals.icms.com. Twin Med is looking for a warehouse representative. They're asking you to send your resume to human resources at twinmed.com. Once again, that's Twin Medical, LLC, Limited Liability Corporation. They're looking for warehouse representatives. They're asking you to send your resume to human resources at twinmed.com. If you are a child-loving patient and energetic individual and would like to work in a daycare setting, the number for inquiry is 972-290-4995. Once again, if you are a child-loving patient and energetic individual and would like to work in a daycare setting, the number for inquiry is 972-290-4995. If you are a person affected by addiction and need assistance with your recovery efforts, or an ex-offender trying to make the transition back in the mainstream society and need assistance with job search, the number for inquiry is 214-634-2722. Once again, if you are a person affected by addiction and need assistance with your recovery efforts, or an ex-offender trying to make the transition back in the mainstream society and need assistance with job search, the number for inquiry is 214-634-2722. Today is a good day if you're looking for a job to find one. Let me repeat that. Today is a good day if you're looking for a job to find one. Today is also a great day to make a pledge to church information in open forum and follow through with it. Today is also a great day to make a pledge to church information in open forum and follow through with it. The late, great Bob Marley once said, get up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Part of that fight is getting out to vote. All politics is local, meaning that your local officials actually mean more to you than the office of the president. We don't rest the election. What that means is the president can sign into law something that will benefit you today. He can sign it into law today, but guess what? The folks at the local level will determine how it is distributed, how and when it is, and whether it is distributed to you. So all politics is local. Get out and get educated and get prepared to vote. It is time to get up and stand up. If you're not standing up, if you're not standing up, you need to get up. If you're not getting up, you need to wake up. And if you're not waking up, you're probably dead. And the Bible prescribes that everything that is dead needs to be buried. And with that, we bring our SAT job line to a close.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Thank you. Great job, as always, Mr. Greg Barber, in our Solution in Action Today job line. And you can reach us at 972-647-1893. We'll be calling those names off, those who have made your tax-deductible pledge so far. And we'll be calling your names off in just a moment. And we are talking with Mr. Ike Steen, talking about what has happened to him, which is happening to African-American children all over the land. He's a grown man now, but he was a child when this happened. 17, 18 years old. They're kids. The boys have fight. This happens all the time, but you will rarely see just fist fighting going on and some accusations we don't know. Kids getting 5 years and all of this. This is utterly ridiculous. You ought to be up in arms. You ought to be angry because this could happen to your child. Your child could get railroaded in this system. So we want to talk about it, and we want to do more than talk about it. We want to fight about this already. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 3 and say good morning to Reverend Wright. All righty. Good morning, Ron. You there?
Good morning, Pastor. How you doing this morning?
Fine. Great. What's happening out there?
Oh, man, I want to run a couple of quick things by you. I know you got a long line. Brother Ike, how you doing this morning?
Doing great.
Thank God for this brother, Pastor, because he continues to fight for his son.
He's fighting for his son. And let me say this. Let me put this on there. We talk about African-American men. We say what we do and don't do. Here's a man has been relentless fighting to clear his son's name. And he won't give up. And I can tell the fire in him. He's not going to give up because he knows his son was railroaded by this no-good racist judicial system we have here even in Dallas. So we want to make sure that we give him all the help that we possibly can.
And we're going to continue to support him, Pastor. He refuses not to be a voice, and that's what's going to make a change. Mm-hmm. In this particular case, that particular prosecutor has did that to several other African American men, mm-hmm. and as we launched our investigation to look into the case, one of the attorneys told us because he was out that it was going to be hard for him to do it. And I thank God for Brother Judge Landers, who fought for Brother Ike, why his son was in there. But because he's out of jail right now, it makes it kind of difficult for them. He made a $10 point, Craig Watkins, the prosecuting attorney. You know, when we brag about the things that he's done as far as exoneration, but we need a district attorney who's going to look at some of these cases where black boys and black men were wrongfully incarcerated, and DNA has nothing to do with it. But it's simply because the prosecutor was a racist and wanted to get rid of these people.
Who is this? Who was the prosecutor? Who's this fella?
Well, there was two prosecutors in my son's case. It was Don Briggingham and Mark Moffitt. And in this case, I got it on court records where they call these kids, you know, not just my son, they call them hyena, vultures, and buzzards. They call them out of their names? Yeah, they always call them a pack. They never would say these young men. They say, well, this pack of vultures, these hyena. You know, and I got that in court documents. I'm not just making accusations.
They said that was the judge present?
Yeah, the judge was present. When the man said hyena, I repeated it behind him, and the bailiff told me to shh. You know, so, and during my son's trial, these prosecutors was running up on my son and pointing their fingers in his face, and he was jumping and flinching, and I was so upset about it. I was telling them to get back, and people was telling me to be quiet. Well, the bailiff, because there was no one sitting out there in where you view the court at but me. And the boy's mother, which was, I found out later was a police officer, and she's sitting behind me crying, like we was at a wake. And the prosecutors would come out and console her and pat on her, but they would run on my son's face and just put their finger in his face. Now, any man or boy gonna flinch when you run up on him. And they told the appellate judge appellate lawyer, the reason they done it was to make him look violent. Well, you gonna make anybody look violent when you running up on them.
Was this just a judge trial, or was this a jury trial?
This was a judge and jury trial.
In other words, they were really playing with the minds of that jury.
They were playing with the minds of a white jury.
Well, whatever it was. They were playing with their minds to make him look guilty and not even consider the evidence, just consider what they were doing just to make him look bad.
Right.
Was your attorney objecting to this mess?
Well, he didn't object to that type of thing. I did, you know, but I was always told to be quiet, you know. Shh. I like went to jail in the trial.
Back then, under Bill Hill's administration, there were a clique of prosecutors. Their job was strictly to make sure that they incarcerated black men. There have been other cases, and Moffett was a part of one of them, along with Anderson, for instance, Jesse Dawson's nephew, who was a very light-skinned man, looked like a white boy, and they said the person that committed the murder was a dark-skinned black man. They would let them peek in the courtroom and see if that was him, and they always say, no, that was not him. And instead of him letting them come up to the stand to testify that they weren't him, they wouldn't let them come in, and they ended up prosecuting Jesse Dawson's nephew, and he's been in there for almost 16, 17 years right now for a crime that he didn't commit. So that was a clique of prosecutors under the office of whose job was strict, and Craig Watkins them, and unfortunately, you know, we presented enough evidence. Ike and all the guys like that have called this district attorney's office enough times for them to look into that situation and see why these men were prosecuted like they were prosecuted. We'll give you a quick update right quick, Greg Barnett, on the shootings of Tobias Mackey. They were not able to settle in that case, but here's my point, Pastor. If you're willing to settle with a family, they offer them, I think, $600,000 each. If you're willing to settle...
That means you're guilty.
That means you are guilty, and so why is this officer not being prosecuted?
Ron, let me hold you over because you got so much information we need to talk. We're up against a short break, and we'll be back in just one moment, and y'all can call your pledges in, 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. Call your tax-deductible pledges in. We need those pledges coming. All right, we'll be right back.
If it's time to get rid of your old gas guzzler, the Knon Vehicle Donation Program can help. There is still a market for those old vehicles, and if you donate it, you're helping to support the quality programming here on KNON. Just call 877-KNON-AUTO or go online to knon.org. We'll take care of everything from pickup to tax paperwork. That's 877-KNON-AUTO.
All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. Mr. Steen is our special guest, and you are my guest this morning because there are some of you sitting out there right now. Your child, your son, your grandson, your granddaughter, daughters are being railroaded by this system, and we've got to do something about it. And you can call us at 972-647-1893. My show is about people. We're the voice of the people. This is what the station is about. We're the voice of the people. People that say I have individual problems, I'll bring them on for the simple fact I know they're not the only one. There's several of you sitting out there listening, and your child is getting railroaded. And don't sit by. Don't sit by and allow this to happen. We cannot allow this to happen anymore. You see, when they give them these criminal records, they know what they're doing. They messing them up. They're messing them up. And they're making sure they don't get a job in life, a good paying job. If they go to college, they still might come out and may not be able to get a job. Do you know in the state of Texas, if you got a felony, they won't even let you be a barber. There are certain trades they block you out. They mess your life up horrendously. So what we need to do, we need to come together and stick together and fight this vicious thing that's going on in our criminal justice system. I know we have a black DA. He's done some good things. But we can ill afford to allow this to happen. Is a Reverend Wright there on 3? Can you bring Ms. Wallace in with Reverend Wright? Dr. Wallace, the head of the Dallas branch NAACP is listening. And can you bring them both on? And we got a lot of power. Dr. Wallace and Reverend Wright, are they both on? Dr. Wallace, are you there?
Good morning. Yes, I am, sir.
Fine. Reverend Wright, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here, Pastor.
Okay. Good. We have two of the most active people in this city. If you will fight, Juanita Wallace is one of the best NAACP presidents we've had here in the city of Dallas, and I'm so grateful and I'm sort of surprised they let her hang around this long, because when they usually strong and fight like she do, they usually get rid of them. They want you to throw big dinners and banquets and tinkling glass and everything, and go get a membership from some guy with a big corporation, and that's your job. But you are on it, and Ron Wright, everybody know that you two are on it. Ron, what do you think of this whole thing, railroading these kids like this?
You know, it's unfortunate that it's happening. I know Sister Wallace emails me a lot of stuff, but with the justice system, we just got to start holding. The sad part about this is that the people who can make a difference in what's going on with our children, as far as it's not only just in the judicial system, but in the educational system, looks like us. Mm-hmm. And we have to start holding them accountable. Now I got what Sister Wallace, and I'm going to go to this point with the education part of what's going on with our children. Mm-hmm. When we had the superintendent in there that was a Hispanic superintendent that was running his school district. If we'd have been the voice like we are voice now, we could have saved our children. But it doesn't matter what Mike Miles says or what anybody says. It's about us being a voice like Steen. The first time they told us that teachers couldn't discipline our children, we should have been a voice. Because we knew how we acted in school, and discipline saved a lot of us.
You better believe it.
We couldn't whoop our kids. We should have been a voice. So what we are saying is we're reaping what we sow. These teachers that are considered not good teachers, hands are tied. They can't make your kids mad. You ain't making them mad at home. They can't make them mad in the school district. And so this is the result of allowing kids to act like they're grown when they're simply children.
Well, we have in our school system that things set up. But let's look what's really behind all this. What's really behind all this? You know good and well, y'all know it, that they did not want any black teacher spanking white kids. So They got rid of the whole deal of spanking, which if it had not been for spanking, ironing cords, and whatever they could get their hands on, no, Lord, ain't no telling how I would have turned out either. Talking about fights, I used to have a fight every day. It wasn't a day I didn't have a fight. That was clean up to about the 6th grade, 7th grade. I had a fight every day. And, that was a boyhood back in that day. Now you go to jail and get a permanent record on you, and which will destroy your life. Dr. Wallace, what do you see going on?
Well, it's so much I could start with. I concur with you about we have to have a voice. We cannot sit by and allow things to happen. Just last Friday, a week and a day ago, one of the Dallas police officers at Russ Middle School broke a little girl's thumb.
Say that again.
What?
Last Friday. Not yesterday, but last Friday, a police officer broke a little girl's thumb.
Broke a thumb?
Broke her thumb. Her mom called her. They called the mom. She came to the school. They rushed her on to the hospital. The doctor was very, very concerned. Well, whenever anything happened in Dallas, they call on Jesus Christ and they call on the NAACP. So Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm over at the school trying to deal with this, and there is a big cover-up. If we're not careful, they're going to try to pretend like it's the girl's fault. This girl has a behavior problem. It's written up in her record, and everybody at that school should be following that plan. Well, lo and behold, they were trying to had the mom to come over to try to change the plan. I said, we're not changing any plans until we go through the process. But the voice is extremely important, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. I want everyone that thinks they have a voice, and even if you have to put on a mask or sunglasses, I want you to be down at 3700 Ross Avenue Wednesday at 11:30. Now, that's the day before the big day. Mag Miles is supposed to give the board members a list of all of the principals that he's not going to renew their contract.
Ms. Wallace, let me ask you something. Was this African American or Hispanic little girl?
She's African American.
I knew it was going to be one of the two because he had broke a white child's thumb. All hell would have broke loose.
And
I don't care what kind of problem they say she have. All hell would have broke loose if he had broken a little white girl's thumb. Now, there's no excuse for that. How old is this child?
She's 11. I think she's 11 or 12. She just had her birthday this past week.
Okay.
But her mom and I and some more people have been working with her. We've contacted Child Protective Services. I've contacted Office of Compliance. I've contacted everybody that I can talk to.
What about Mike?
About this?
What about Mike Miles?
Oh yeah, I talked with him also about that. But like I said, it's trying to be a big cover-up. Now, why would you want to change the plans of how you operate in midstream? I said, no, we're not changing any plans. We're going to follow the plan because the plan shows exactly what the teachers the principals and the officers should have done when this girl went into a stress attack. Now, the child tells me that she's walking down the hall and the principal kept poking her in the back with his hand. And he admitted he was touching her in the back. He wanted to change the word from poking to touching. Well, if somebody's touching you, you're not going to go into a stress attack.
Now, what was he poking her for? Trying to prod her along like you do cows or something? Yeah.
Like an animal, prodding her along back to her class. So, you see, we've got more problems than we even realized.
What school you say this was?
Rusk on Inwood. 2929.
Yeah, I know. We right down the street from. We just a couple of blocks from that school. It's right up the street there, right at Inwood and Maple here. We right up down the street. Now, when is the hearing supposed to come on this? And then we'll get to Mr. Miles and his firing of all of these principals. When is the hearing for this little girl?
Right now, we don't have a hearing date for this little girl. What we're doing is working through the system. We've already filed complaint against the officer. We've filed complaint against the principal and all of the people there in the school that had anything to do with that. So right now, we'll have to wait and see exactly when there is going to be a hearing. But we're having 3 or 4 different groups of people, groups of entities investigate this whole case.
Okay. Now we're gonna have to. I'm calling on black men. Y'all wake up. The young Steen, the younger, is blessed to have a father that will fight for him. But there are a lot of these young children that don't have men or even strong mothers to fight for them. So we're going to have to do this. Please let us know when this hearing is going on, because you're not going to make me believe that he's going to break this child's thumb and get away with this. Now, when is Mike Miles supposed to announce his hit list?
He's supposed to announce it on May the 9th, which is Thursday.
Next Thursday.
At 11:30. That's why we're having a community meeting at 3700 Ross outside. If it's cold, put on your coats. If it's raining, bring your umbrellas. The action is at 3700 Ross Avenue, and we cannot afford. If you are afraid, put on a mask, but we need you there. We need every walking body there.
Well, let me tell you something.
Every group of people.
I've been doing this 50 years. A lot of them scary ones you don't need there, because they'll go to the media, go behind your back and stab you in the back, telling you, I'm down here. I'm in the crowd, but I'm supposed to miss them out. You have to watch. You have to watch certain folk. We need some real grown folk out there. We need some people that's going to stand up for what's right. We need some real Christians out there. Not these so-called Christians. We need some real people out there, and that's going to stand with you. And one thing I laugh about in Dallas, some of our strongest leaders are little women. Miss Wallace not big as my arm, and I look at our school board trustee. She's a little woman. Some of our strongest leaders in our community. Community is sad, and it angers me that we've gone to a generation where we have to depend on little women to fight for us. This is sad. Alrighty.
Let me ask you a question. True, but it's been such a major genocidal attack on black men. I thank God that we do have women that decide to be a voice.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Now, are they getting rid of only black principals? Is he getting rid of only black principals?
No, it's not only black principals. It's a variety of principals. And believe me, this man not only has gotten rid of principals, but if you follow the news every day, if you read it, you will find the people that he hired, those people $182,000 and up, they're leaving. One man, and I quote, says this: he was afraid that his reputation or livelihood would be damaged if he stayed here with Miles. See, you have to understand this is all about money.
Yeah.
And I want people that understand Title I money, I want you to look at it and see if we can prove that this title money Title I money, which is federal money, has been stolen or moved from one budget to another, we've got a case and we can put some folks in jail. And that's
All
what
right.
we're looking to do.
This sounds good.
We don't want to just fire them. They need to be in jail, stealing the money off the backs of these children.
Look here, can y'all stick on for a little bit and take some calls?
Absolutely.
All right. Let's go to line 2 and say good morning to Billy. All right. Let's see if Billy's still there. Billy, are you there?
I think I'm still here, Reverend Barnett.
All righty. Okay. All right. I don't think. I don't know if they can hear. Can we bring them all on?
I'll bring them all on?
Yeah, I want them to hear. Yeah, they're sticking around. All right, now and bring right. Yeah, okay. Now, can y'all hear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, Billy. We got some feedback somewhere.
Let's say first of all, Reverend Barnett, we are listening via. I'd like to say thank you for your venue, and for the sake of time, Mike. Keep fighting the good fight of faith. I'm a good friend of Mike Steen.
Mm-hmm.
I think I hear one of the young ladies on your farm there speak in terms of prosecuting individuals who's supposed to uphold the law, who took an oath to uphold, to seek for justice. And when these individuals, whether we need to rally to get legislation changed, we must fight. I'm a black man, and I'm a black man with sentiment that suggests that he who starts behind in the game of life must either, the option for him is to either run faster or pursue other options that's going to help him succeed in life. And when you take these away from individuals, just...
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Hello? Have we lost Billy? Look like we. Okay. Let's go to line 1. Michael. Let's bring Michael on line 1. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Reverend Barnett.
Fine. How are you this morning?
Oh, much better, sir. I am so much more in agreement with you, and I have so much more help with us. We can help with our guests. Sir, there's a pattern of behavior of these renegade cops. Back in 2002, Reverend Charles Stovall, Reverend Peter Johnson, I helped the Dallas Peace Center as a volunteer.
Right.
And we all spoke, Brother Alliston was with us, and we all spoke before City Council about these renegade police officers running rampant and killing our children and not being held accountable. What we need is our boards and commissions to put somebody on that Citizens Police Review Board has subpoena power, and then we can have those officers up there and held accountable. But yes, sir, that was back in 2002, and they're still doing it, sir. We have documents concerning that. But I'll discuss that off there. I'd like to also encourage that we also, I have been trying to make my way about the city, and I've been over there at that Robert E. D. Public Park over there by Lemon and Turtle Creek.
Right.
And the filthy, they're doing some construction work and stirring up poison that killed a bunch of fish over there in Turtle Creek, right there across the boulevard. They're doing with their big machines, stirred up the water and killed a bunch of fish over there in Turtle Creek. You know, water flows downhill, and when it went from this big hill up there on Robert E. D. Park, it killed some fish over there in Turtle Creek. I took photographs, but also as far as the area right there, there's a school on McKinney. I'm not sure what. It may be an alternative campus of the Dallas Independent School District on McKinney, right there, a few blocks north of Lemon. I was waiting for the
I tell you what, Michael, I'm up against a break, and we got you. And
during your second hour, I'll call it in, but it's important information for the guests to have. I have documentation of 2013.
Okay. Great information. Look, I've got to take a short break, and we'll be back for our second segment, and you can call us at 972-647-1893. We'll be right back.
You're listening to KNON 89.3 FM, Dallas, Fort Worth. Pledge now. Call 972-647-1893 now to make your pledge.
I like the word gobsmacked because it sounds like what it means. Something completely astonishing, so unbelievable that it smacks you. For example, on April 3rd, ExxonMobil was scrambling to cope with thousands of barrels of tar sands oil oozing out of a ruptured pipeline in the town of Mayflower, Arkansas. The spreading toxic contamination from the oil giant's pipeline was awful, but hardly surprising, given Exxon's long record of reckless disregard for our environment, people, and communities. So, the gobsmacking news of April 3rd was not that America's most profitable corporation had yet another spewing disaster on its hands, but that something called the National Safety Council awarded its Green Cross for Safety medal that very day to, guess who? The contaminator of Mayflower. Presenting the award during an event in Houston, NSC's president declared with a straight face, "It is evident that ExxonMobil is committed to excellence in safety, security, health, and environmental performance." Good grief! While Mayflower was covered in Exxon oil, Exxon was being covered with environmental praise. It was like giving a bird protection award to a smiling cat with feathers still stuck in its whiskers. What exactly is the National Safety Council? An industry front. In fact, the green in the Green Cross Award could refer to the color of money, for both the Exxon Corporation and its foundation were top donors to NSC last year. Indeed, the oil corporation has not one but two representatives on NSC's board of directors, making Exxon the awarder as well as the awardee of the Green Cross. Not to single it out, past awardee Dow Chemical is also a board member. This is Jim Hightower saying, apparently, NSC's paramount safety concern is for the PR image of its corporate funders.
Yo, what's up? I'm gonna kick it with the lines, y'all know. Yo, Slim, can I kick it like that? Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love, sent by one from heaven up above. Taking pity is simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying? What? Yep. Time to make the change. Here we go.
We're back for segment number 2, and you can reach us at 972-647-1893. We have two of our stalwarts in this city on the line. I hope they're still there. Reverend Wright, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Dr. Wallace, you there?
Yes.
All right, we have two stalwarts in our city, and I'm so glad that we could get them together because these are two of the people that I have confidence in. I've seen them both perform, and they're for real. I hate to say it, we have an election coming up next Saturday, and y'all going to go down there and punch a whole bunch of unfor-real folk that's not going to do anything for you. But these people here are on the front line. They're on the main line, standing up for you. So you can call them at 972-647-1893. Also, I need your tax-deductible pledges coming in. I need those pledges coming in. Do we have some sheets, pledge sheets over there? Let me have those, and let me call the names of those who pledged this morning, and we need a whole lot more pledges coming in. All righty. We'd like to thank Eddie Johnson. Thank you. Wonderful pledge. Thank you, Eddie Johnson. This is Dr. Wright. Annie. All righty. Thank you for your tax-deductible pledge, Annie. Yolanda Williams, thank you for your tax-deductible pledge. We need some more pledges coming in. Thank you, Mr. Steen. He paid his pledge this morning. His is already paid. But we need some pledges coming in. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 2 and say good morning to Reverend Crenshaw. All right. Good morning, Reb.
Good morning, Reverend Doctor.
Fine. You doing all right this morning?
Greg Barber, doing okay?
Yeah.
Good morning, Mrs. Wallace, and good morning.
Good morning,
Dr. Wright.
Good morning.
Reverend Crenshaw here. Yes, I have a little different outlook here on what I'm going to mention. I had a neighbor when I grew up, and he had gotten disabled a long time ago. He basically stayed at home. But I happened to be over his house one night, and mentioned the relatives out to a nightclub. He said, "You're going to fool around and kill somebody." But, I said that to say this. My parents, my family were home, church-going people. And he...
What got done today? All right.
Yes, Go right ahead.
Back then, they would all sit on the porches in the evening and all that. And you used to be able to leave your screen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm all that to say this, if we would rally around our families and keep our families together.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's just gotten away. It's the whole thing just going awry. And, with the schools, right, they're not punishing the kids. The police are so brutal. They'll whip you, and, like we were talking about the Black Panthers last time, because the Negro was getting out of hand because of the Civil Rights movement. 64 Civil Rights Act and 65 Voting Rights Bill. And so they had to find some way to contain him. But, it's like that under any minority group anywhere in the world. When you have changes in society. And it's just not us by ourselves. Not just us. But we're going to have to find a new way to approach this thing. Because when I'm not out doing some shopping at the store and work, I come home and I'm at home all the time. And that's me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I have to go somewhere, do something, go to a meeting or something, I'll go. But, I don't get all excited, and then I'm not going to turn nobody in.
Well, we need to also.
Yes, sir.
And I hate to say it, they probably the two civil rights leaders may disagree with me, but you know what I found out? Those that are 45 years or so and younger, our younger generation,
right?
Most of them seem to be Sambos and nervous Nellies. They are afraid. I've talked to a lot of them, and the way they talked that you would think this was the 1940s. I don't know. They
don't understand nothing.
No, they don't understand anything.
They don't understand anything. Don't mention Dr. King. Don't even mention Malcolm X to them.
No. Oh, no. I don't know. What happened?
This is what you read.
It's a lapse. It looks like it just vanished away. All the knowledge and the preparation and everything. Looked like it just vanished. Just got them go, got them went.
It starts with us, Pastor. We dropped the ball on this. You got to be real with this thing. Black men were genocide and attacked. And during the course of that attack, it divided the black family. And until the black family can come back together again, we're going to continue to go through. This is what we reap. We reap what we sow, Pastor. That's what we preach. And so when the attack was on the black man, and like I told you, the indictment wasn't just on the white man, but on the white man and the black woman, too. Man on each other. We attacking each other until we come back together as a family like we used to be, a strong family. We're going to this is the result of what we're going to get.
Well, you see this with Mr. Ike Steen, a strong family man. Fight.
Family, man. Until we put the family back together, we're going to always have issues and trouble. And if you look at it, no other person is complaining about the justice system but black folks. Because we can't come together and stand together as a people.
Warehousing people. But, I want to say this. I have a friend, and he likes to put black on top. Black this, black that, black only, black. And I said, you can't do that. What happened is blacks were once on top with the Queen of Sheba, King of Solomon, Bathsheba, Cleopatra. What happened? Why are they on the bottom now? I said, no, you can't do that.
Yeah. All right, we thank you for your call and comment. All right, that clears the line, 972-647-1893. Let's bring Mr.
Reverend Barnett.
Yes,
May I just make a comment about that? We have to understand that we're in a position we're in because that age group of people, first of all, if they didn't have strong parents to teach them, they weren't being taught in the school about their culture.
Right.
So if you don't know who you are, then you have no idea the strength that you carry.
Right.
And we know that all of it comes through God, but we have to teach our kids. The curriculum is not for the African American child. They don't see themselves in that, and when you don't see yourself in a situation, it is hard for you to understand it or to grasp it. Everything in history books start with slavery. We have to go all the way back, and how do we go back? The school's not going to do it, so the parents have to go back and tell them, like that pastor said a few minutes ago, about the blacks in the Bible, and bring them all the way up through Africa and through and past slavery, and then they'll understand and be able to appreciate themselves for what they really are.
Right. And how long were you in education?
33 years.
You were in education for 33 years. So
absolutely.
You certainly
didn't
know.
Didn't have any other job except educating.
Yeah, and you certainly know what has gone on in the miseducation of black people.
Absolutely.
And I'm so happy. Reverend Wright keep talking about family. He's so right. Just watching this father here fighting for his son. This is family. This is keeping himself together. Watching out for your children. Our children need to be protected. Our children need to be taught how to stand up and taught their history, their African and African American history, because we had a great history long before we were brought to America and made slaves. And so we need to make sure that everything that we have is passed on to our youngsters, and they can pass it on to the next generation. We're the only people on earth that will not pass our history on. I don't understand it. All right, let's go to our phone line. Let's go to line 1 and say good morning to Billy again. Billy, is Billy there?
Hello.
Yeah, go right here.
Good morning again, Reverend Barnett. I got cut off earlier. But for the sake of time, since we are talking about family, we're talking about the criminal justice system. My good friend Ike is on your program, and I'd like to say hello to him as well, Reverend Barnett.
Good morning.
Dr. King said something as it relates to this whole conversation here. He who begins behind in the game of life will forever be behind, or he must run faster. A level of education we must institute, but we must first and foremost understand that in order to educate, we must get educated. With that in mind, from our educational system to our judicial system to our criminal justice system, we must be aware of all those components, all of those elements. And I'm going to try to conclude with this point, because when we have entered the game of life behind, understand what it takes to get ahead, we must take full opportunity and full advantage of those opportunities that are afforded us. And with that in mind, family and foremost must be the institution or the vehicle by which we bring the unity and the strength to our people, empowering with emphasis on the fact that we can no longer afford to be frivolous in our thinking, in our action, and in our learning. We must take full advantage of all these opportunities. And when the injustice system, when the criminal justice system doing grave injustice to us, especially in particular black men, we must understand with every available ounce of strength in us from every empowered institution, we must join our forces together and sound out loud with a resounding voice that enough is enough. We can no longer allow and afford you to put us further behind when it comes down to wrongfully incarcerate individuals, whether you're white, black, or indifferent. We must send a voice to them when you do grave injustice, because after all, they take an oath. To protect justice, serve justice, and to seek for justice. And when they do anything less than that, then they must be also, by their own peers, judged by that same justice system, even if it means sending them to prison for wrongfully incarcerate. I'll leave it with that, and we'll talk about these other venues when I get another opportunity.
All righty. Thank you. Thank you for your call and comment. They close the line, 972-647-1893. Ms. Wallace, Dr. Wright, what about these prosecutors that withheld information in so many cases that could have cleared people? What do y'all think about that?
Well, we initiated several cases, Reverend Barnett, that's on my desk right now, of certain particular prosecutors, like one of them name is Anderson, and I'm going to name it, under the auspice of the last two district attorneys that falsely and wrongfully incarcerated young African American men and sent them to prison. In East Texas, I believe right now they're prosecuting a former prosecutor who did that, who withheld information on a white man, and so now they're prosecuting him. But these are the things that need to be done in the city of Dallas and Dallas County right now.
Ms. Dr. Wallace, have the NAACP looked into this? Do y'all plan to challenge this thing by these DAs withholding information that sometimes can exonerate these people that are accused?
Yes. We look at every single case and try to work out a strategy that's going to end up being morally sound. Mm-hmm. See, what's happening here with our society, and because you know as well as I do that there is a certain element of immorality here in the city, the state, mm-hmm. and even in the world. Mm-hmm. And a lot of things we can't do anything about on our own. We have to get our help from the higher power. Mm-hmm. And we know that a lot of the moral blindness it comes from just plain old greed. Now, if you trace every incident that happens, it always go back to somebody just being plain greedy. Mm-hmm. They want to try to get something for nothing. Right. And we've got to help our people, the ones that call themselves the Christians. We've got to help them understand, if you believe in God and Jesus Christ, then you know that he says that he's going to provide for you. Mm-hmm. So why are you out constantly trying to steal and get something for nothing?
Yeah.
See, you either got to believe, you either got to be on the right side or on the wrong side.
Had you heard about? Had you heard of this case with Mr. Steen before? Are you familiar with this particular case?
No, I'm not.
I'd like for him to get in contact with you and be able to talk to you, and get the NAACP involved. Also, Reverend Wright is involved. We are all coming together, because if we can find one case we can lift up to show the inequities in our criminal justice system, which people already know, but to prove it, this would be a model case. This is a model case of a young man getting railroaded, going to prison really for nothing. No reason at all. Yeah. All right. Is it break time? Okay. And I'd love for him to get in contact with you. I tell you what, I don't know.
You got our office number?
I know I had the old office number that I used.
214.
214.
916.
916.
9919.
9919. All right, Annie, you got that? Okay. All right. We thank you. We thank you for that. We thank both of you for being on the program. We thank you for coming on, because I do know and I feel good about this, because I got two of the best fighters in the city. We got them on our side, Ike. You had Reverend Wright. Now you have Dr. Wallace, and believe me, she is a fighter. She's maybe the best, and Alcorn. We've had a couple of, here in the later years, we've had a couple of good NAACP presidents, and that hadn't been in a pretty good while that we had a real strong leaders as presidents of the NAACP. I'd like to thank you, Dr. Wallace. I'd like to thank you,
so
Reverend
much.
Wright, and thank y'all. Okay?
God bless you.
God bless you. All right. I tell you what, we're up against a short break, and we'll be right back in just one moment.
KNON depends on listener support to stay on the air. Now is the time for you to help keep this show on the air. If you like what you're hearing and want to show your appreciation for great community radio, pick up the phone and call to make a pledge. 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. Don't wait for someone else to do it. Without the support of our listeners, there won't be any community radio on the air in North Texas. So take a few minutes to make a pledge. 972-647-1893.
When they're down, they're gone for good. This is Scott from KNON's Texas Blues Radio telling you don't miss out on some great blues. KNON's Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 Blues CD. It's a CD put together by real blues fans for real blues fans like you. Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 features great local blues from Michael J. and the Paul Bird Band, JJ and the Detonators, the Chris Watson Band, the Two Tones, Rough Cut Blues Band, Jeff Stone with Charlie Love, Dave Millsap, Sirloin and the Ass-Kicking Machine, Tutu Jones, Blues Boy Bo, Buddy Whittington, Andrea Dawson, Kirkland James, Sonny Colley, and Johnny Red and the Roosters. Get a copy now at Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie, Record Town in Fort Worth, and in Dallas at Bill's Records. This is a Dallas Blues collector's item. A very limited amount of vinyl copies can be found at Forever Young Records, the sponsor of this great blues project. CD downloads are available at cdbaby.com. Whether you get it as a download, on vinyl, or on CD, all the proceeds will benefit KNON. For more info on Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, visit knon.org.
All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. We'd like to remind you we're in the midst of our spring pledge drive, and we need some tax-deductible pledges coming in. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893. We need you to call that number and make that pledge. We need to stay on there, stay strong. We have a lot of money this show has to raise. We have 2 hours, and we have to raise some money. We need to raise some money. Things have gone pretty slow this morning, and we thank you for those who pledged last week. We did well. But 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893. We can talk about anything we want. As long as we're not slandering people, we can talk about it. We are not controlled. I am not controlled by nobody. Corporations don't control me. Even staff, management, nobody at station controls me. I talk about whatever because they know I get my support from you. You're the people. You're the people. And because you support me, I can talk about whatever I want to talk about. 972-647-1893. If you got a problem, you got to come with something that you need in your personal life. Because here's what I have found out over the years. When one person calls with something, there are a lot of people with that same situation. A lot of you listening right now have had young people in your family, in your life, that's gotten railroaded, are about to get railroaded. We need to put a halt to this system, put a halt to this train. We need to stop this mess in its track and then go back. We need to go back and revisit a lot of these cases because these children, these young people have been done wrong. I mean wrong by our criminal justice system. Call us now, 972-647-1893. We want to put a halt to this. These children are being, the young men are being emasculated at a young age. You can't be a man if you don't have a job. You don't own anything. You just there. And if you got to depend on some woman to try to take care of you, you're not a man. Man has to have some money. A man got to have some authority to be a man. Yes, I said it. Tell the feminists I said it because Adam had authority before Eve was ever born. Adam had authority. He was naming all the animals. Everybody, the whole earth was subjected unto him. This is before woman was ever taken from man. So every man wants to feel like a man. If you emasculate him, he don't feel like a man, so he feels worthless. We have got to stop this worthless, senseless actions taken against our young people, and we got to stand up and fight. So call us. We're fighting. We're going to fight. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Where are we on our calls? Let's go to line 2 and say good morning to Michael. See if Michael's still there. He's been waiting a long time. Good morning, Michael.
Yes, Reverend Barnett.
Fine. How are you this morning?
Good, and I think one part of our young people are these school teachers, right?
They did what?
I said our young people that we need to stand up for.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is our school teachers that's getting turned away from jobs.
You doggone right. Our school teachers see.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's some of our young people, and you're right. It goes to the younger than that, and then it goes to the younger than that. They're not given the right information in kindergarten. They're not given the right information about George Washington, but what we have today is Dr. Wallace speaking, and I appreciate that. And we have some good solutions. We can find ways to get things moving again. But I'll tell you, sir, I myself was trying to catch a bus and a train and a bus, and I was sitting on McKinney Avenue. There by that, I'm not sure what alternative school it is, but it's on McKinney, just a few blocks north of Lemon, where that Robert E. Lee Park is. And the children there were, not only were the young men beating and boxing each other, but the young women were beating and boxing each other at the bus stop right next to the school. It's like rampant, you know. That's how they get their steam off. And bless their hearts, Cassius Clay would tell them that that's not the way to go.
But see, the only thing about that, if you've been under stress all day long and really in a situation that's very stressful, you don't act the way you normally act. You take a lion and put him on Fifth Avenue or Wall Street, he's not going to be the same.
Morning, so it wasn't in the afternoon.
Yeah.
They was bashing each other at 11 in the morning, and I was...
But that goes on every day, that stress. It's forever there. That's great.
What that King said, it's poor people, not black people. All poor people.
Oh, that's correct. That is correct. All right, thank you, Michael. Thank you. All right, that clears the line. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Let's go to Tony on line 4. All righty. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Rev. How you doing?
Fine. How are you doing this morning?
All right. I want you to read an article in Texas. This month made Texas Monthly. This guy writes an article about the school. Texas schools, and it talks about Sidney Chris, how he is part of this No Child Left Behind. I know you know who he is because
Sidney Chris used to live here in Dallas. He's down in Austin now. Yeah,
and he used to be part of the DISD board and all that.
And he used to be the head of the Dallas County Democratic Party.
But what happened is that the guy shows that, you know, with all this testing, if you notice, the companies that hold these testings are now like a $1 billion business now, and then it's tutoring, and we give all this money to corporations or groups that fund, you know, do all these testing. And actually, Sandy actually worked for one of them as a lobbyist, and what it's showing is that how the school districts funds are being used to fund private companies, you know, and like I say, it's one of the articles, like it's in this month Texas Monthly.
It's all about money. Dr. Wallace was talking about this. All this testing and everything. These are people that's just making money off our children. Whether they get educated or not, they don't care. As long as they can take these, give these standardized tests and everything, that's a multi-billion-dollar system. And see, the place where you need to stop this mess is in Texas. Texas controls basically American educational system. Most of the books that other states use are books that's first bought by the state of Texas. A lot of people don't know that. Texas completely control our American system of education. And they were getting books together now and putting them on the market, revising the civil rights movement, revising slavery, saying slavery was not bad, it was good for us. All of this mess is going on. If you think our children messed up now, catch them a generation or two away from now. It's gonna get worse.
And I want to make one last point. These broad people and Bill Gates made his money, but these people are controlling the policies on school boards. These are the ones who want reform. And if you read up all the information they have, I got a book at home. I have to give it to you next week, where this lady breaks it down how these people have started this reform and how they're taking money, putting it in charter schools, putting them everywhere in these vouchers. So, but like I say, watch the organization and the people coming from corporations or coming from like the outside school district.
Right.
I'll leave you with that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Steen, what do you think about this educational system here in the state of Texas, which really guides America? What do you think? Do you think our children getting a quality education?
No, because I think what's going on with our school system is one of the things was when they took discipline out of the school. And, a parent cannot control a kid while he or she is at school and they're at work. It was a big write-up in the paper about how they penalizing kids. When you give a kid $500 fine for not attending school or shooting hooky or whatever you want to say, you're not penalizing the kids, you're penalizing the parents.
Which in many cases cannot afford.
$500. And what is done.
How many people can just dish out $500? But now, and see, parents have to work every day. Lord bless me. I was at my kids' school, at least one of them, all four of them, I'd be at their schools every day. I was going to be in one of those schools. And make sure not only my child was taken care of, but other kids, all their friends, and make sure that they would stay in class and get a good job and get an education. And every one of those kids, every single one of them have done well. Every single one of them have gone on to college and done extremely well, because parenting is more than just giving them clothing and food and turning them loose and let them go on and say the school teacher is supposed to take care of them. No. School teacher is supposed to teach my child some things. I'm going to teach them some things too. But it's still, even in that school system, that parent needs to be involved.
I would need to be present. And I got a grandson, and I goes up to the school and I talk to the teachers, and I have even had to go up there and take some actions on my grandson for his behavior, because I believe he's accountable for his own behavior.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have to understand these young, especially these little young black boys that's full of energy. And you got a kid, and I got 3 grandsons, well 4 really, and all of them are hyper. But I'm not going to let the system say that they all are ADD or ADHD.
No. Don't let them put no labels on your child, because that follow them all their life.
Got them on this old medication that zooms them out. And a lot of times, these little boys don't need nothing but what I give my grandson, a good whooping.
Well,
I give my belt and whip their butts, and they are, I know that the Bible says, spare the rod and spoil the child. Well, I'm not saying beat your kid to death, but these kids can go to school without the fear of the teachers can bring discipline against them.
Man, wish they were dead for them teachers knew. One of mine, I didn't have trouble with one of them.
Right.
And that's the one y'all hear on the radio.
All right.
He decided he was going to run with the wrong crowd and do everything. That's all right. You had a teacher, Mr. Cloman was a principal, and all of them. If you see him doing something, call me.
Well, let me
and I'd be there in 10 minutes. And
well, we was talking about education, and I think I heard Dr. Wallace say this, about educating ourselves, and my friend Billy Allen said that we got to educate ourselves against this system. You'd be surprised if you knew the number of people that's in Dallas County that's on parole or that's on probation. All that is about money. That's why so many of these politicians like to sit on these different boards and things that they can control your bail bond industry. You'd be shocked to know how many judges, lawyers, and prosecutors have interest in those industries.
You doggone, that's a multi.
I'm gonna say this about my son.
$1 billion.
When my son was arrested, the way they put the bond, they always give these kids a real high bond, and they know they're gonna lower it, but you got to pay the lawyer to get it lowered. Then you still have to pay the bond to the bail bond industry if you don't have that kind of money. Say if you get a $500,000, a $50,000 bond, well that's $5,000. The lawyer will get it lowered to maybe half that. Well, he's going to charge you $500. At least back in the day, I don't know what it is now.
Well, yeah.
Then you still going to have to pay that money, and that's $3,000 you'll never recuperate. When they set these bonds so high, then that's $3,000 you don't have to pay an attorney to fight your case.
Yeah.
Then once you bond a person out, then you go into another level where you can't even get a court-appointed lawyer because they're saying you have money for the bond. So it's everything you do is against you.
It's a catch in that.
It's against you everywhere you go. So we have to educate ourselves on what we're doing and educate these kids.
Yeah.
Stay out of harm's way. They're not gonna always stay out of harm's way, but we're gonna have to put up a better fight, and we got to educate ourselves, and we're gonna have to use our vote. Our vote is one of our biggest voices.
Yeah.
Like you said, we voting
but you got to vote correctly.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm saying we voting people that don't have us at our interests at mind. They doing their own thing.
Yeah. All right. 972-647-1893. That's the number to call. That's the number to make your tax deductible pledge. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 1 and say good morning to James. All righty. Good morning, James.
Yes. Good morning, Reverend Barnett. James in Palestine.
How are you this morning?
I'm blessed, better than blessed, and I know you are too. I'm going to say a lot of things real quick for the sake of time, and you can address them as you can. Earlier you mentioned about if it was a white child. Let me say this. Over in Connecticut, in West Texas, most of those residents I saw and those kids that were shot looked like it was all white neighborhoods or communities. But over in Chicago, where the blacks are being shot and killed, nobody's up in arms as they are in those two locations that I mentioned before that. I'd move on and you respond as you can, but I want to mention for some of the callers that call in, we always come up and say all the problems, but very seldom a solution. I think one of the biggest solutions would be a nucleus where we all come together, all the preachers, get all their members, and all of us come together somewhere like a 1 million man march, but 1 million people march, or 10 million people or whatever. Let's all really stop playing with each other. Like Price used to say, commission about stop playing, fool, or whatever. And let's really come together and sit down from Palestine all the way to Dallas, Fort Worth, all you preachers, quit being scared and quit worrying about your congregation not going to pay your tithes and offering. Let's really come together and do something about this before we be annihilated from all this mess that's going on. We really got to do something about this and quit playing.
All right.
The church should lead rather than follow. And this morning, I'd like to say good morning to Isaac Wynn and Dexter Tabor. They're on their way to a meeting where the NAACP and LULAC is coming together at a meeting somewhere. I won't say where, but hopefully coming together in that way will bring us together in more ways. But I really appreciate what you're doing. And like I say, I'm calling out T.D. Jakes and all these white preachers, Mexican preachers, whatever you are. You call yourself a man, a woman of God, come on out and prove it, because by this, they will know you're my disciple. Love one for another. Not love for another, but also love to one another. I appreciate what you're doing, Reverend Barnett. If ever I'm needed up that way, you know who I am and you know my number. Thank you.
All right, thank you, James. That clears the line, 972-647-1893. We need some pledges coming in, 972-647-1893. If you want a good talk radio to continue on in this city, this show is different from all the rest. It's different. I make no bones that we are here for the community, for the African American community. Everybody else can have their own. I make no bones about it. Everybody's welcome to call. Everybody's welcome to talk. Our issues is addressing the issues of people that have been oppressed for centuries here in America. And we are addressing these issues. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. Call us right now. We have things that are going on in our city. We have things that are going on in this nation all around that we can't just lie back and ask ourselves, I sure wish they would stop. No, people don't stop until they're challenged. We have to challenge this system and be ready for whatever may come along. Challenge the system. We got to show that we're not going to lie down and just take our children being railroaded and viciously misused. I tell you what, we're up against a short break, yeah, and we'll be back. Call us 972-647-1893 with your tax-deductible pledge. Thank you.
Another way you can support your favorite show on KNON is by starting a KNON bank draft. Sign up now and support the voice of the people every month. It's easy and convenient, and a great solution for you if you're not always able to call during pledge drive. An automatic monthly draft will occur from your checking account. You can select the amount, $10 or more. Bank drafts provide a steady source of revenue for the station and can be started by calling 972-647-1893 right now. The total amount drafted each year is immediately credited to your favorite KNON program, and you'll receive your choice of gifts as soon as the draft begins. Pledge $1 a day to keep your favorite station on the air every day. That's only $30 a month, and it goes a long way towards keeping KNON alive. It's time for you to be good to your ears. Make a pledge to KNON that keeps on giving.
This is William, your videograph reporter at KNON Talk Shows. You can watch church forum and information by going to the KNON.org website. Click on schedules and choose church forum and information page. Scroll to the bottom and choose your favorite show to watch. This show will be ready for viewing by Tuesday lunchtime. Have a great day.
Everything is gonna be alright. He's coming back like he said he would. Yeah, it's gonna be alright. He's coming back for the true and good.
All right, we are back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host, and we are making our call now. We're making our call for tax-deductible pledges coming in. We have so many perks here. There's no way I can name all the perks we have. Shirts, cups, aprons, mugs, you name it. You get that with the KNON logo. The voice of the people is on them. And, you know, I don't even talk about perks because, you know, you can come down and you can, according to your pledge, you make your choice on what you want to get. But we need for you to pledge to the show. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. Thank you. The phones are lighting up. 972-647-1893. I need you to call. I need that pledge coming in. I need those pledges coming in. 972-647-1893. Come on, let's light up some more lines. 972. And please, a pledge is nothing but a pledge until you pay it. Please make those pledges and please pay. You have 3 months to get that pledge in. You say you're running short right now, you don't have anything, Mother's Day coming up next week, you got to buy something for mama. Believe me, I understand you. I know. You only get one. And she's the sweetest thing that's going to happen to you in this life on earth for most of us. She's everything. She's wonderful. I understand I'm a father, but hey. I understand they They love daddy, and but they cherish mama, and we just have to understand that, because the mother is usually the heart of the home. The father should be the head, but they usually will love the heart more than they will the head. But then again, after, in the long run, your children will even show you as father, they will love you just as much as mama when they begin to grow up and realize what's going on. So I understand all of that. I understand Mother's Day is next Sunday. I understand Mother's Day is next Sunday. And y'all, you may not, you're running short, but you have 3 months. All you do is call in, get the information. I have a Clint and Doc and Annie, and they're here taking your pledges. I need those pledges coming in. 972-647-1893. I need them coming in. You have 3 months to pay that pledge. And you just think about it. You'll somewhere within 3 months, you'll have that cash. You'll have that pledge. 972-647-1893. I'd like to thank Mr. Eddie Dunson for his tax deductible pledge. Mr. Dunson. All right, thank you, Mr. Eddie Dunson, for your tax deductible pledge. And we'd like to thank others. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893 for that tax deductible pledge. We need you to make it. Call it in right now. Call in that place, 972-647-1893. Call that pledge in. Please call it in. 972-647-1893. We have a goal to reach. And I don't even think we're halfway. I don't even know if we're halfway. We have got to get on the ball with the pledges. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. We need those pledges coming in. We need them coming in. Come on. We'll complain, once the show is gone, we should have done this, done that. No. It's too late then. You have to do it now. 972-647-1893. My lines, I got one call on the line. The other lines are open. They're wide open. We need those lines lighted, and we need those pledges coming in, and we need those pledges paid. You got 3 months to do it, and any other time, all my lines are usually just jammed with callers wanting to get in, wanting to speak, wanting information, and all that's great. And I'm glad you're doing it. I love for you to do that. But it's time now. You can come up with something within 3 months to pledge to the station, pledge to the show. 972-647-1893. You can find something. You can find something in 3 months to give. So don't overpledge yourself. If you can't pay it, hey, it's no disgrace, but you can pay something. You can pay some money. There's something there that you can pay. Everybody can participate. I don't care if you don't have a 5, 10, 15 bucks, whatever. Bring it in. And see, they judge shows by how you support. Now, they know I got a lot of listeners, and that's understood. I have a huge audience, but they want to see how much that audience truly appreciate the program by will your head and your treasures be in the same place? Are they in the same place, or do we want all of this for free? There's no other show in all of the state of Texas like this one. There's not another show. Not many, hardly in America, like this one. There's no other show. Other shows will talk and they skip around this and skip around that, and they try to say they're journalists, and we're going to attack this with a journalistic issue. Look, hey, I have sense enough to know I was black before I was a radio talk show host. And when I die, whether I'm on radio or not, I'm going to be black. Understand this. See, I'm not confused about who I am what I'm all about. I'm not confused. I know where I'm coming from. I've got years of experience. I got years of working and in this community. I work with all people, black people, brown people, white people, red people, whatever. I'm not confused. And we need to stand up. It's time to stand up. We're losing ground. We're not gaining ground. We're losing ground. The wage gap between a white worker and a black worker is up to around 35% difference on the dollar. We're losing ground. African American men, we surely losing ground. You have no wherewithal. We have no wherewithal to realize that too many of our young men are having problems finding employment, getting education. We have a lot of young men that are doing this. You have a lot of young men doing things, but we have too many that's not doing what needs to be done. I hate to take this whole segment and push for wow. All right. Thank you, darling. Thank you, Deandra and Eric Prince. I have to announce this one. This is $500, and I know this one is good. This music, huh? It's an elite music. Well, they're in Houston. Yeah. This is my daughter and son-in-law. I know that one is good. That one's good. $500. Thank you, Sugar. And they God have really blessed them. They are very successful. And I thank God for them. I thank God for them. Amen. But I need others. I need others. Many of you pledged last week, and y'all, we did pretty well last week. And we're converging on our goal, but we need everybody. Clint, you produced my show, I don't know what, 2-3 years? For how long? Almost 2 years. You ever seen My Lines Blank? That's rare. They're usually jammed. And people want to talk. And I want this. I'm not discouraging that. I love that. But now's the time that we need you to make your pledge. 972-647-1893. Doc got the film on. They're going to show this worldwide. Me with blank lines. That don't sit with. I bet you they just laughing in Germany right now. We got him today. We don't ever get him again. They're laughing at me today. And I bet you won't have any problem getting this one into Germany. I bet you won't have any problem. They're going to show this one all day long. So 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. 972. There we go. That's the way to light those lines up. 972-647-1893. And we have got a first class operation here. All the people, Annie, Doc, Clint, all the people, we have a first class operation. I used to have to take pledges, run the board, talk, and do everything by myself. I could tell who came in the building because all I had to do was look down before. The holes are so big in the floor, you can look down and see the front door, whoever coming in the building. We got a nice place here. This is a nice place. We can, and not ashamed. I've had some of the most famous people on there up there in that antebellum house over there on San Jacinto, and we got a nice place. I'm not ashamed to invite anybody in here. It's nice. It's comfortable. It's something that make you feel good. It make you feel good. I've been with Knon, other than Lambda. My show is the longest running show on KNON. Lambda had different people on over the years. I've been on the air with the show longer than anybody here. It has been One of the top shows, always have been. One of the top shows here on KNON. People say you can't do it with a talk show. Oh, yes, you can. If you're giving good information that people can use, they will respond. And people respond to my show. They say, well, why don't you call out more of your pricks? I must admit, there are a lot of people out there obviously love me. They love my show, and they respond well. We thank God for the people that's responding. You are responding. Mr. Ike Steen is here this morning. His son has been railroaded. We call it like it is. We got your farm lady, Reverend Wright. We talked with Dr. Juanita Wallace this morning, head of the NAACP branch here in Dallas, and we've got to put this army together to exonerate. I realize, he's not incarcerated now, and lawyers are scared to take the case because they're scared of certain people in town, retaliation from the certain people in town. There's a power system in town that many of our lawyers, just about all of them, are afraid of. And they're afraid if they take his case, they won't work again in Dallas, Texas. Let's just tell it like it is. That's what's going on. But we're the voice of the people.
Amen.
We don't care. We're not afraid of anybody. If it's an injustice, we're going to take it on. We're going to talk about it. We're going to expose these people, and we're going to let everybody know what's going on. We will inform you where other stations will sidestep and tap dance around it. We don't tap dance around anything or anybody. You stay there, you get run over, but we don't tap dance because you, the people, support us. Y'all support us. The people support us. And if the people continue to support us, we can take on anybody, because we are the voice of the people. We give everybody an opportunity to talk, get complaints. You let people talk too long. Well, I feel like if you think enough of our show to talk, call us, because you got a myriad of things you could be doing. I do give a little extra time to people, because I really want to make sure I hear what you're saying and don't cut you off and might miss something. That's very important. And if you have problems, you can always call my show, and we'll do what we can for you. So call us at 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. Time is running out. We only have a minute or so on the air. You'd like to wrap up? All right.
Well, let me say this right here. As you doing your pledge drive, I've been talked on another radio station that's not even existing anymore, where it's changed to a Korean station. Judge Mary Ellen Hicks had a program on there, and she used to let me come on and talk about my son's situation. Mm-hmm. And her show was attacked. She was the first show that got attacked on KKDA. Well, the Dallas Weekly newspaper, Judge Victor Lander used to write about this situation. He was attacked. They deleted the website, so you couldn't find out any information about the Brian Steen story. And so there's two judges, a newspaper, and a radio station I done been through. So when I see the lines not light up, I kind of think that it's something hard about fighting these kind of situations. People, you have to spend money and help people that's putting a voice out there. And thank God for Marion Barnett, and I'm praying, because I don't want to be a cause of them attacking him, because I'm going to continue to fight, In this fight I'm in, just like marriage, to death do we part, and that's all I got to say.
All righty. Thank you. Now, we've been on a long time. We've tackled many hard issues, and that's one thing about the voice of the people. They let the voice be the voice. As long as we don't scandalize or do anything like that. I know what to say, and but I don't back off of anybody if they are doing wrong, and we got proof. We're coming after you.
All right.
We're coming after you. I'd like to thank all of you for calling. Thank all of you for listening. I'll be here in the studios a little while after the show, so you can give us a call. Call your pledges in. Keep the talk shows on the air. My show, my show has been blessed. My show is blessed. Keep all of it, because all the shows give out good information on KNON. These shows give out some good information. Listen and support. Support everybody. Thank you. I got to get out. I got to run. I'm senior pastor of Heavenly Joy Church. We're located at Bruton and Masters right here in the city of Dallas. Again, Reverend Floyd Taylor's funeral is going to be on Matlock Road at the Cornerstone Baptist Church today at 1 p.m. Dr. Floyd Taylor, Elder Taylor, great man in the city, had pastored a great church in Fort Worth, Heavenly Gospel. So I got to run, got to go. And thank you, Ike, for being a part of it. Thank Clint, like to thank Doc, and like to thank Annie. All of them got a first-class team running things, and may God bless you and keep you. Bye-bye.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.